Guys, we are back again for another vibrations here on the one and only Mystelics reaction channel. Guys, welcome back. Round of applause goes out to each and every one of you guys who tuned into yet another Mystelics reaction channel. Guys, of course, this one deals with a situation that is taking place in Dominica that has been told to Dominica a number of times, but it seems like, I don't know, there's something wrong with Dominican people, or just, I don't know if it's people generally speaking when it comes down to a global scale, or it's just Dominica at the same time. I think it's on a global scale, but more specifically deals with that of Dominica right there. How on earth do you tell people what exactly is gonna happen, and it does happen, and they still don't understand what is taking place in front of their eyes, man? Of course, Sean Douglas actually mentioned this very same situation of what is taking place about a one state or one party state. I think that he tried to do in 2014. If I do recollect, I remember when we were in Portsmouth and they were talking about the opening of Glanville. The people wanted the land and stuff, for which the people cannot own land again in Glanville, the Promised Ville or whatever they're calling it down there, and they give them apartments, and they told them they can stay in the apartments and stuff, but they can't really own it to say, hey, let me pass this on to my family. But anyways, the people were kind of happy about that, and of course during that time, the part, I think they were talking about having a one state. We should try to get all 21 constituencies and this kind of things. They didn't work out because of Roseau. I can't remember, Roseau South, I think. One of them, Roseau South, Marigot, and Salisbury, did not allow this to happen. But anyways, guys, we have Sean Douglas, one of the individuals who actually put the red flag out, or was a whistleblower, so to speak, since he was dealing with the government and realized that something was going wrong when it comes down to his association with them and understanding what is taking place inside the vicinity right there. But let's just listen to this situation right there.
And to cement a one-party state in Dominica, and that is something we must avoid at all costs.
We must avoid this, guys, because if you allow one set of people to come in and just become a one-party state, you know what they're gonna do? There will be no opposition to oppose. All of the people know what's going on, and therefore they will be able to do whatever the heck they want, whatever they want. If they can actually do this right now, guys, if they can actually do this right now, what do you think will happen with a one-party state? Anyways, let's continue right here.
And you truly believe that? I'm convinced. In 2011, I wrote an article, Dominica, a country sliding towards dictatorship.
Yep.
And people felt that I was using language of hyperbole or exaggerating.
Hyperbole. Now, guys, let's ask you this question: does Dominica seem in any way, shape, or form to seem like it is one side a dictatorship? I mean, if you look at the other countries out there, Venezuela and Cuba, well, Cuba is kind of changing right now, but if you look at back in the days, how they really were, guys, where they were building apartments for people and telling them that they have to stay inside there. I guess the only thing different is that we're not lining up waiting for food. But it seems like sooner or later that will happen. But guys, really and truly, can we really say that Dominica is a dictatorship, in a dictatorship sphere? Or is the essence of dictatorship creeping up on us, or is it there already? What are your thoughts, man? Leave that, of course, in the comment box below.
But of course, we've seen what's happened in the last, in several years. We've seen that this dictatorship is gathering pace. And so that's why I've come on the radio this morning, because you have a situation now where we have where Vince Henderson, Ambassador Vince Henderson, is being put forward by Roosevelt Skerrit, not by the people of Grand Bay.
This is one of the things that I was trying to ask, and I asked a number of Grand Bay people, and they like they had no clue about that. Who elected Vince Henderson? Was the people of Grand Bay who elected him to come forth to represent them? I mean, come on. Who brought Vince Henderson out to come and represent Grand Bay? Was it the Granbarians or was it the Prime Minister? Let me know your thoughts, guys, because I myself sometimes I get confused what is taking place in Portsmouth, much less for what is taking place in Grand Bay. And I know Grand Bay is fouls. Well, it's kind of debatable because Portsmouth people let Ross just disappear from. Anyways, let's continue.
As far as I'm concerned, Vince is an outsider. He's an imposter. And the PM is...
You call him an outsider. Wasn't he born in Dominica? Outsider meaning out of Grand Bay.
Out of Grand Bay. Out of Grand Bay. I mean, out of Grand Bay. Grand Bay is a place, is a community with a very rich history. This is a village that they resisted slavery, led by self. There was an uprising at Geneva, a 1,400 acre estate at Granby, and the people of Granby took that land back.
Granby was deadly back in the days, you know. But now, I don't know. Oh, see, there was uprising. Even is his name again? Savred, Charles Savred, dude. He was in Portsmouth organizing things and making things happen, saying resist them, and he today is a part of the very same kind of situation.
It was owned by the Nazi family. Granby was the epicenter of the independence movement in Dominica. You had, when Rosie came back from Canada in 1976, it was a group of people from Granby, a group of men from Granby, led by Pietus, who walked from Granby to Melville Airport to meet Rosie. And so when Rosie needed people, needed a few men or some people to picket and to lobby the parliament in the House of Assembly when there was a vote on independence, it was Granby he went to recruit men and women, and they came to the House of Assembly and they said, independence now, independence now.
So that says a lot about Rosie's and his influence. It's pretty much seen today. It seems like the Granby people, just like Portsmouth people, were loyal to the Rosie and I think Mike Douglas, and they were loyal to these people who were helping Portsmouth. And I guess because of the movement of Rosie Douglas, that same kind of understanding was passed on to them. So the Granby people felt loyal to the DLP party as a result of Rosie. And I guess because of that, they stayed loyal to DLP because that's the team that Rosie Douglas them chose to be a part of. But unfortunately, these guys passed away. And the things that they stood for is absolute. It's far. I tell you, Rosie Douglas and all the others would be turning in their graves today if they knew exactly what was happening as a result of the DLP team.
Now, in the late 1970s, late 70s, Granby was really a hotbed of groups. You had a number of work and study groups. You had Lachelle, the ladder. You had men like Pierre Charles, Rosie Douglas, Bernard Wilshire, Crispin Gregoire. They cut their teeth in Granby. And so, of course, when there was a vote on independence in the parliament, the member of parliament for Granby, Mr. Casimir, he defied the Freedom Party, his party, and voted in support of independence. He sided with Labour. So Granby is a place that has produced Dr. Nicholas Liverpool, has produced E.C. Low Black, R.P. St. Louis, led by Stanley Fidel, you name it. I mentioned UNICEF, Philip Francis, Norrin John, James Alexander, Ed Regis. So why, Matt, in 2021, that Mr. Skerrit is seeking to impose Vince on the people of Granby? I believe Granby has enough talent.
I saw this thing. Hold on. Let me stop this. I saw this thing right there, guys. I saw this right there. Apparently, they were having some meetings, and Vince was kind of saying, hey, guys, yes, he's proud to be asked to represent these people because he knows he's not his people. He's talking about these people, which brings me back to my question. Who from Granby elected this guy to come and run for them? So it's not my people anymore. He's these people. He's happy to represent them. That is what he said. He can represent his own constituency, but he want to represent these people. Interesting. I also saw something else, guys. This is what I saw, which is rather interesting, guys. Apparently, when it comes down to individuals going up, I see there's some rather interesting views when it comes down to this situation right there. Let me see if I got this clear, guys. Pierre was PAL rep in South City, and he died, brothers and sisters. He was replaced by John Fabian. But he also died, unfortunately. Justina Charles entered the race, defeating James Alexander for the seat. But not long after, Alexander died. It's election time again, and Justina is set to face Norrin John. But Norrin John suddenly died. Interesting. I was just looking at the John Fabian John. I thought they were related and whatnot. But anyways, Justina smells a rat and pulls out. Ed Regis wins the seat, but he also dies less than 2 years in his office, or 2 years later as a result of elections. What is going on now? Then Julian Paquette also announces his interest to fill the vacancy left by Eddie Edward Regis, Ed Regis, and guess what? He suddenly develops chest pains and has to quit. What is really going on right there? So apparently they have to take somebody from outside, since all these crazy situations tend to be happening to the people of Granby. It seems like, by the way, guys, I know I made a statement like two reactions ago, and I said Limie. Now I thought Limie meant trouble or problems. Yeah, plenty Limie, yeah, plenty troubles, plenty problems. But people tell me Limie means curse. So that one day, probably that Granby apparently, where all these people died, they don't probably have a Limie. Because all these people seem to be passing away when they come in to represent the people. So maybe that's why they have to take somebody from outside to prevent people from dying. Maybe, I don't know, guys. This is a reaction. What are your thoughts, man? Let me know if I'm correct, or has this thought ever run in your mind? Anyways, let's get back to Sean Douglas.
I mean, Matt, that for 35 years, 36 years, Labour has held Granby. The government has espoused a policy of one university graduate in every household by 2015. After 30, you have had a secondary school in Granby, built by the United Workers' Party since 25 years now.
Yeah, so it was built by United Workers' Party, the secondary school. Okay, the secondary school, brothers and sisters. What was built by the present DLP team, who has been in power for 20 years, going to 25 years. What have they done for Granby, brothers and sisters? What have they done for Granby for 25 years? But let us continue. I don't know. If you know, let me know in the comment box below. Let everybody know in the comment box below. What has DLP... You're voting for people for 5 consecutive years, and they have done absolutely nothing for you. Boy, I tell you, the power of Rosie Douglas and his influence that they have, because they were DLP. Maybe that's why they're voting, because you cannot understand people voting for people to do things for them, and they don't do absolutely nothing for them, but they're still voting for them. Something is wrong with the human cognition and the psyche in understanding or critically thinking about the problems that they face, just so they can be loyal to something they themselves don't even understand. Children growing up, my mother was labor, so I labor too. Yes, sir. Let's continue.
So don't tell me, Matt, that you don't have somebody in Granby who can step forward to replace Ed Regis.
Well, on this Julius Gabriel go up, or he go up independent. So we'll hopefully see if he wins or not. But if Vince wins, I wouldn't be surprised, guys. You know, I wouldn't be surprised. Because for the past 20 years, nothing has been done. Well, let's say 35 years. Well, UWP was there, so they do something in Granby. But for the past 20 going to 25 years, brothers and sisters, what have DLP done for them? Nothing, yet they're still voting. So if they bring an outsider, Marquess, I remember they were saying in Portsmouth, if they bring a Brom to represent Portsmouth people, the Brom will still win. That is what I heard. And not me that saying that. Labour right to say that. If you bring a foul, if you bring a Brom, if you put a box there for DLP, they're going to vote. This is why E and them don't have to do nothing in Portsmouth. That is why. What you have to do in Granby, obviously, when you're doing something and people know you can lose their vote, they will try their best to keep you. But if they know they consecutively have your vote, despite of whether they do something or not, what they have to do for you, they have nothing to prove. You will still vote for them. So obviously, nothing is going to take place. 20 years, 20 years. Also, when they come in and they're doing things, you know what they're doing? During election times, just like what they're doing now. They approve little loans for you. Come and get your loans by 8 Bank. Come in there and give you little money, $2,000-$3,000. Look, a little money for you to vote for me. Come and vote for me now, man. I'll help you out. Look, I'm helping you out now. But the economy that your children are going to live in going to suffer. And you have to wait for the children themselves to see how they can get older and see if they can get a little handout from the government. Or try to leave Dominica. It seems like Dominica is a breeding ground for people to leave, to go overseas elsewhere for them to do better. I tell you, that is exactly how it presents itself. How Dominicans going overseas, the same Dominicans who have been working hard and trying to make things are not making it in Dominica. When they go overseas and they learn to do, I am one of them, brothers and sisters. I am back in Dominica because I can. Anyways, let me leave that alone. People going overseas and they're making themselves, man. Making themselves and they're organizing themselves and they make, and it happening for them. Then when it happened in the outside there, we saying, yes, woo, let's go, woohoo. Yes, Dominicans. Dominicans. And they say Dominica does give to you, so you have to give back. What Dominica give to you? Huh? I heard a person saying that. What exactly did Dominica give to you? If you don't go school, your parents will be in trouble. That is what, anyways. And the schooling system themselves, they say that give so much to you. It is your duty to learn or not. It's totally on you, brothers and sisters, not school. School can try their best. If you don't want to learn, you don't have to. People can go home school and learn better, you know. People can go outside. People doesn't think, man.
No need to impose Vince on the people of Granby. Vince Henderson is an outsider. The people of Granby are quite capable, as they have shown through centuries.
Well, the very person that they're voting for all the time, they don't think that they are capable. That's why you bring in somebody outside. It's very clear to see, eh?
To represent themselves in the parliament. And so Vince, to me, is really the choice of Mr. Skerrit.
Obviously. That's why I asked you earlier on. Who wanted Vince Henderson to come and represent them in Granby? Did somebody from Granby nominate Vince Henderson to come and represent them? What is going on there?
And that's, of course, all part of a plan, of course. This is his succession plan. That
obviously, is Vince he want to take over so he can control Vince? I mean...
Vince will come in at some point in the cabinet, and at some point he'll become prime minister. And there's some talk of course, Mr. Skerrit perhaps moving up to be president. But of course, that's for the moment, I would say that's just speculation. But that's
speculations. But we're going to see it unfolding, brothers and sisters. Two things that can happen. The prime minister becomes the president, which is most viable for him to not be in any sort of problem, because once you become president, all whatever you have done in the past is completely forgotten. You have gained immunity right there. You probably, if you murder somebody and they catch you murder somebody, that is immunity. They forget about that. About if you were doing corruption and whatnot, you become president, they forgot about that. One or two, he control Vince, make him organized so that nothing else can happen to contradict him while he lives his best life out there. If you Google who is the richest prime minister in the Caribbean, you will see Roosevelt Skerrit come up. And certain articles I've read before stated that it could be in the range with billions of dollars or $1 billion. $1 billion. But that salary was big, eh? That salary was big. But Granby people don't want to learn.
It's a bad move, but it's already, the house has already left the stable, Sean.
Matt, I don't believe so. There's time. In 2005, Matt, there was don't forget, Labour and Freedom were in coalition. And there was the Roosevelt Declaration, where Labour had to withdraw the candidate from Colliho, and the Freedom Party withdrew their candidate from Soufriere. And the Labourites in Colliho said there's no way that they wanted to Sabroach. And they defied Roosevelt Skerrit, they defied the Labour Party leadership, and they voted, they said we want, it's Kokok we want, Ronald Tulloh. It's Kokok we want, and Tulloh ran as an independent candidate and won the seat. In defiance in defiance of Roosevelt Skerrit. So, if they could do it in Colliho, they can do it in Granby. There is
of course. But of course, brothers and sisters, I don't think people realize that they are the powers that control. I saw a post that stated if there were rules, the only reason why rules are effective is because people obey them. If people didn't obey rules, brothers and sisters, there would be rules wouldn't have no effect. No effect. So on the basis of understanding that very principle right there, if the people realize they are the ones with the power and people cannot just come and put things on them, they will be the ones who are in charge. I mean, you guys are the ones, the people are the ones voting, eh? The people are the ones voting, but unfortunately it's called a breadcrumb mentality. You leave them, don't give them too much where they can get too much energy to then come against you. Give them a little, so they'll feel satisfied just enough, not to be satisfied enough to do something about it, but to be satisfied enough to be thankful for the things that they get. Otherwise, they would have been hungry, because they are totally dependent on us. This is why I say in things, it's not an independent nation, in independency. That's what we are. We're celebrating 43 years 2 days ago. No. We're celebrating 43 years as a reason of being away from Britain, but we are away from Britain with the same kind of slavery mentality, just in a different form. in a different form, brothers and sisters. Anyways, guys, what are your thoughts, man? Let me know your thoughts. I talked too long on this thing already. I just thought it was rather interesting. This was Sean Douglas, a family member of Roosevelt Douglas, and of course, he definitely took this to make a valid point that hey, and he was, I don't know what he is now, but he was definitely a laborite at that time. I guess he's a free thinker now. When it comes down to what is taking place, the Labour Party of back then, the Labour Party now is two different things, man. Vastly different. I was in politics very, very young, you know, brothers and sisters. I know the difference. I know the difference. I used to be in campaign. We used to be driving most up and down the place. I know the difference, man. Listening to what people were saying, not just going place to have fun. As a little youth, listening, that was rather interesting. I still have auditory memory on things that people were saying. And then you see people are paying attention, man. Just pay attention. And sometimes it is a hell of a thing for you to pay attention and do absolutely nothing. It's like having knowledge. You have knowledge to do certain things, but you have talents to do certain things, but you have the wisdom to do certain things, but you're not doing what you are capable of doing. Utilizing that talent, utilizing that wisdom, utilizing that education, that aspect that you have, that knowledge that you have grasped. You're not using it. So it's a waste. It's like having education to do certain things, guys, and you're not using your education. Kind of like what is taking place in Dominica. You go school. You go school, get an education, then you try to find a job. We job that. Job in what? Job in what you go school for? No. Job, any job you can get to make a little money, and you end up sometimes spending your whole life doing whatever you do. So what is the point of school? Comes back to my very ideology and the very thing that he's talking about. People go in school and having educated people in all households. But at the end of the day, guys, how does that benefit people if they can't even use the very education that they... The thought of Melissa came to mind when Melissa said she graduated in some IT field. You graduated in IT field in some college in the United States or wherever you graduate. And you as a minister, you're not utilizing your IT skills. What you doing? You making clothes for carnival? that is and you the boy, hey. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you understand it, and subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can get all our videos as they come through. Stay blessed.